Welcome, friends. I am Dr. V.K. Chauhan, homeopathic physician. I am sharing with you a homeopathic remedy, acetic acid, in the form of mnemonic for easy remembrance. The major text has been taken up from Allen's keynote. However, certain areas are supplemented from Boric and Clark. This text is best for BHMS students and interns. So let us go ahead. The keyword for our mnemonic is acetic acid. Here, A stands for anasarca or dropsy. C stands for cold aggravates. E stands for exhausting night sweating. And T stands for thirst, intense burning. Please remind that in acetic acid, there is no thirst during fever. I stands for irritable. C stands for cachexia or marasmus or wasting diseases. A stands for averse to cold things and especially for salt. C stands for CS stomach, which has a characteristic feature, the burning pains in the stomach. I stand for inhalation excites cough. And the last is the D, which stands for drooling saliva, where I would like to remind you that this is because of profuse salivation. Please don't mix it up. Drooling always generally seen in cases clinically seen in Parkinson's disease, but we are not going to deal in case of acetic acid as a Parkinson's medicine. So with this particular keywords, we would like to explore the remedy further. Here, as we know that A stands for anasarca or dropsy, please remember that acetic acid has got profound anemia, and that profound anemia is usually associated with hypoproteinemia, and that is the cause for dropsical symptoms in cases of acetic acid. The cold aggravates, you will find that this patient has got extreme dislike for cold drinks and from aggravation from cold. Exhausting night sweats. Generally, you will find that it is in the reference of hectic fever, where you will see skin is dry and hot. Very peculiar feature of this feature of fever is red spot on the left cheek and drenching night sweats. Hectic fever is a very loose term and it doesn't specify any particular disease. And if you are going to investigate, you have to go for a lot of investigation to find out the reason why there is a fever. And it is very important to diagnose because sometimes, though rarely, it may be a case of tuberculosis. In general, in tuberculosis, we don't have a hectic fever, but sweat is very, very important. That is a syphilitic symptom and very important symptom of tuberculosis. Friends, T stand for thirst, which is intense and burning. Again, we remind ourselves that there is no thirst during fever. Even the patient is so thirsty that he drinks a lot of water. Even though he has got dropsy, there is anasarca. But in case if you feel the symptoms are corresponding to diabetes, here thirst is a common symptom of diabetes. In case of chronic diarrhea, thirst is a common symptom. but again no thirst in fever. I stand for irritable. Ellen has not given this symptom. Ellen has not considered this symptom to be very important from the point of view of prescription. But as we know, the materia medica which follows the Hahnemannian schema, they start from head to toe. And here in Boric materia medica, we find that the patient is irritable and worried about business affairs in reference to acetic acid. The cachexia, marasmus and wasting diseases. In children, specifically, you will find the marasmus is because of protein calorie malnutrition, early weaning, and there can be certain diseases or malabsorption syndromes in children, or even the worms can cause this kind of a presentation. The next is the A, averse to cold things and salt. The patient has got disgust for salted things and cold drink. C stand for CS stomach in reference to specifically for burning pains in upper abdomen. There can be epigastric tenderness, and if the active ulcer is present, there is a pain which when can be pinpointed through your fingertip. And if it is in the cancer, it is a probably late case where chronic peptic ulcer, especially the stomach, has been turned into the CS. I stands for inhalation during inspiration. It is excites the cough, but it happens so when you have inflammation in the larynx. It is the narrowest space through which the air goes from upper respiratory tract to lower respiratory tract. And in this process, it irritates that particular narrow area and that causes reflex cough. So similar symptom can be present in spongia. And the D is the last word here for drooling saliva, profuse salivation. You will find there is a sour belching. It means the water brush, regurgitation, GERD. It is a symptom of gastroesophageal reflex disorder, the reflex disease. And especially please remind that it could be present in case of pregnancy, but it is a self-limiting thing in pregnancy. But in chronic gastritis, because of Helicobacter pylori, it will be a chronic condition and the burning pain, burning in the upper abdomen with water brush and profuse salivation, which is day and night, is a characteristic feature of acetic acid. So we finish with this. Thank you very much for patient listening. Thanks once again.